The Axeman of New Orleans by Jonathan Lee. The first victims. Joseph Maggio, an Italian grocer, and his wife, Catherine Maggio, were innocently sleeping on May 23, 1918, when they were suddenly attacked. Their necks sliced with a razor in their sleep. The axeman proceeded to bludgeon their heads with an axe before leaving. Their bodies were discovered later by Joseph's brothers, Jake and Andrew, although it was already too late. No money or valuables were stolen. The second case. June 27, 1918. Another Italian grocer attacked. Louis Bessemer and his mistress, Harriet Lowe, were attacked in the early morning while sleeping. Bessemer was struck with a hatchet above the right temple, and Lowe was struck over the left ear. Both were left unconscious and discovered by John Zanka, a bakery driver, who had come to make a routine delivery. Lowe suffered brain damage and died 7 weeks later. Bessemer was suspected to be a German spy, but was later acquitted after being held for 9 months and undergoing 10 minutes of deliberation. The third attack. Anna Schneider attacked in the evening hours on August 5, 1918. The 28-year-old was 8 months pregnant with a girl when she awoke to a dark figure bashing her repeatedly in the face. She was later discovered after midnight by her husband, Ed Schneider, who was returning late from work. Anna claims to have remembered nothing from the attack and later gave birth to a healthy child after the incident. Nothing was stolen from the house, and windows and doors appeared to not have been forced open. A state of panic. The sixth victim was Joseph Romano, who was attacked on August 10, 1918. He was discovered by his 2 nieces who were living with him. They managed to see the axeman fleeing and described him as a dark-skinned, heavy-set man with a dark suit and a slouched hat. Romano had taken serious blows to the head with 2 open cuts, but he managed to walk to the ambulance when it arrived. Romano died 2 days later due to head trauma. Nothing was stolen from Romano. However, they found a panel on the back door chiseled away. This murder created a state of panic in the city, with claims of the axeman lurking and reports of axes found in people's backyards. A trip to Gretna. An Italian family of 3, Charles Cortimiglia, was sleeping with his wife and daughter, Rosie and Mary, respectively, when they were attacked on March 10, 1919, in Gretna, Louisiana. They were discovered by their 69-year-old neighbor, Orlando Giordano, who found they had been attacked by an unknown intruder. Rosie was standing in the doorway with a serious head wound holding her deceased daughter, while Charles was laying on the floor bleeding profusely. Nothing was stolen from the house, but a panel on the back door was chiseled away, and a bloody axe was found on the back porch. After waking up, Rosie claimed it was Orlando and his 18-year-old son Frank. Although evidence went against these claims, they were later sentenced to life imprisonment and hanging, respectively. Charles denied his wife's claims and divorced her. A year later, Rosie announced that these accusations were false, and the Giordanos were released from jail. Letter to the City. On March 13, 1919, a letter from the axeman was published in the news. He said that he would start killing again at 15 minutes past midnight on March 19th, but would spare the lives of occupants in any place that jazz was playing. That night, all dance halls were filled to capacity, and bands were played all over town. No murders occurred that night.
Hell, March 13th, 1919. Esteemed mortal, they have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains of whom I've sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offense at the way they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but His Satanic Majesty, Francis Joseph, etc. But tell them to beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it were better that they were never born than to incur the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there is any need for such a warning, for I feel sure the police will always dodge me, as they have in the past. They are wise, and they know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as a most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the Angel of Death. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 earthly time, on next Tuesday night, I'm going to pass over New Orleans. With my infinite mercy, I'm going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared, in whose home a jazz band is in full swing at the time I've just mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well, then, so much the better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is that some of you people who do not jazz it out on that specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, and it is about time I leave your earthly home, I will cease my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish this, that it may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fantasy. The Axeman.
Axeman Jazz. Don't scare me, Papa. In 1919, Joseph John Davila, a local tune writer, wrote The Mysterious Axeman's Jazz. Don't scare me, Papa. The cover depicts a family playing music with scared and depressed faces looking out for the Axeman. After the letter, 3 more attacks took place after that. The last was Mike Pepitone on October 27, 1919. His murder was allegedly the last of the Axeman's attacks. Then the Axeman just disappeared, as mysteriously as he appeared a year ago, causing 12 victims. There were no confirmed perpetrators of the crimes. There were many suspects, but all led to a dead end or the suspect was killed in an accident. As of today, no one knows who the Axeman is or where he came from, but there is speculation of copycat killers. Fingerprint scanning was just discovered. However, fingerprint scanning was not common practice until later, so no blood or fingerprint samples were actually used or kept. Voices. Narrator, played by Jonathan Lee, and the voice of the Axeman, played by Anthony Natali. And I will now end off on playing 2 renditions of the Mysterious Axeman's Jazz.
Tour, but here's Axeman Jazz in a live performance. We're ready.
It's quite ironic that a song so jolly and happy is actually about a serial killer that terrorized the city with an axe and jazz. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you all for listening, and maybe tonight, before you sleep, turn on some jazz, or else the Axeman may come to your house and kill you with your own axe. Lest you jazz it.